what I've been doing is the Excel file that you guys have sent in. We have done a lot of reiterations of it to get to where we're at with this 30% reduction. And basically the Excel file that I'm going to be
Is that
sending
correct?
back. Oh,
From
somebody's not on mute. Sorry.
What?
I'm getting some background information, background noise. Can you hear me? Is that better? So basically the Excel file that you've sent us, we have done some reiterations of it to get to where we thought we needed to with the reduction. So what I'm going to be sending back to you today and tomorrow, everybody should have their all of them, the emails out by the end of the day tomorrow for sure. But what you're going to do, you're only going to see certain columns, you're only going to see certain rows. So what you're going to do is on the non-operating section, you'll see all the line items that you've entered. And on column C will be the column that you have to reduce down. And in column T will be a total column. So I don't want you unhiding. I don't want you messing with anything except for column C. And what you'll see then is that you will have a column T will be what was requested to begin with, and then the next column will be what was awarded with the 30% reduction. And then the next column will show on the total line only what you have to reduce. So for instance, if you entered $200,000 requested and it has to be down to 150,000, you're going to have to reduce $50,000 in column C. As you reduce those line items down, your total line you'll see will go, it needs to come to zero on the very last column. So I'm going to explain that in the email, but I just wanted to kind of explain it today so you understand there is a ticking down, so you can kind of see as you reduce, okay, where am I at for non-operating? Where am I at for operating? And that is all you need to do is reduce column C. We ask that you use the file we send you, save it off. At the end of the file name, put your initials on it, and that will be the file you will upload into the application. Once you, I will then, when I send the email, reject your application in the dashboard. The application will be rejected. Once that's rejected, you will then take your Excel file, you'll reduce your dollar amount, you will again re-import it on tab 4. So it will re-import, overwrite everything in there so that it will reflect the 30% reduction, and then submit it. You'll add the file to tab 4 to import it. You'll add the file to tab 9 for information along with your other documents in there. And then you will submit it back in the portal to me. If you have questions, Carly can answer, I can answer. We are asking for these to be returned to us by the end of day this Friday, May 23rd. Just want to let you know too, part of the reduction needed is we've had, like Sarah said, we have a lot of supplements that we've had to send out to people. I'm working on about 8 more right now just to get us through 2025. I don't know what's going on. I guess we're trying to get a handle on that. And so I will ask those subrecipients that we have to supplement for 2025 to get a handle on what's going on. Why have we done this? A couple of them are we supplemented back last year for 24. Now we have to supplement for 25. So you're going to have to really take a hard look at your expenses and see why what has been increasing from year to year to year on that. As when we supplement 25, that cuts into 26. So just because you supplement 25, that takes away your federal dollars that we did get in 20, for fiscal year 25 apportionment. So to use for 26. So one thing I want to stress, column C, again, column C is the only column I want you changing anything in. We've worked hard to get these Excel files so that they're easy to calculate and get us to the numbers we need to be in total for all 50 subrecipients. So I think that's it there. I don't know did I miss anything, Sarah? I don't think so. Put your initials in the file name so that when you save it off, don't change the file name, just add your initials at the end of the file name so that it's a different file name when it comes back to me. I will reject the applications when I send the email. You'll upload and import again after you reduce it. And enter change column C only.
Can I
The
have a
other
question?
Yep.
Does this have to be reapproved from our board?
No, your resolution, everything you put in the paper is an estimated project cost, and this is a reduction of it. It's so. Am I anything else, Sarah, that I'm missing there?
No, but once you submit the application, we'll send you a draft agreement. After we approve internally, that draft agreement will have the new figures in it. When you get that, you'll also need to get a resolution from your board that they've reviewed the agreement with those new amounts in it. So you'll have to send those documents back to us. So they will be seeing it.
Okay, all right.
If that helps. And there will be a conflict of interest form that's included in that. If you could submit all three of those back together, that way we can keep them all organized and in one packet, that'd be great.
When you unlock this, are we able to modify and adjust our local match that we're reporting up as well?
No, local match, we will not. What you're going to be doing is the local match in the application is calculated based on your expenses, non-operating and operating expenses. So we are not going to adjust any local match on the Excel file right at this moment. Your sources. If we can do that at a different time. I think we need to just get to where we need to be with the expenses right now.
Okay, because I know we need to get in and adjust our local match in the portal for fiscal year 26.
On your, and when you go into the portal to resubmit this, I think I know what you're talking about, Steve. You should be able to adjust yours on that portal page. It's not within the Excel sheet, not on the Excel sheet, just in the portal.
Okay.
Yep, just in the portal. Correct. Yep. Sorry. Yep, you're right.
Okay, and that will be unlocked.
Yep. Once we reject the applications that are currently in there, you will have access to play in the portal with it.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
once I reject it, you reduce your budget on the Excel file, you re-import it, you resubmit it. I will be reconciling that to the numbers that I've given you. So if something's still off, you're going to have to, we'll be going back and forth. I would hope that it's the first submission back is down to the number that is we have given you for the reduction that we awarded. The column says 5311 grant awarded, dollar amount for operating and non-operating. There's a total there.
I have a question, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this has happened the last few funding cycles, but if people are going over their budgets from one year and then they're going over them the next year, and I know that there's been a few, and I'm not trying to finger point at anyone, but I thought we had to stay within our budgets unless like there was really something, you know, within the systems that really greatly changed, like, you know, like they took on like another route or, you know, really added something to their services or, you know, like June was saying, you know, we really have to watch our expenses because doesn't that cut into other people's budgets? I mean, I'm not trying to be an old hag here, but
So that's what me and Jody have been preaching is coming is in 26 and 27, there would be no more supplements. The only adjustment to that statement right now is the cut that we made, this 30% cut. A few of the providers, it reduced their budget down to less than what they expended the previous year just on operating. So those are the ones that we're flagging to watch. The other ones that should have, based off past numbers, should have enough to cover them. Those ones we won't watch as closely. But our goal is no more supplements because we have to stick within the bounds of the funding that we have. I can't speak to what happened before I got here. I don't know where the budget increases are coming from. That's, like I said, that's what June's telling you is we got to get a handle on it.
right. Because I could tell you that for 24 and 25, that you guys are not going to have our true budgets, but that's beside the point. I'm sorry, June, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and we have been implementing that. I don't just supplement them like we had,
Oh,
like when
sure.
I first started. I will reach out to the transit manager and I will ask them for a justification of why, because it might be an operating, it might be a non-operating only. It might not be in both operating and non-operating, and we have to get a justification of why. And I do agree, can tell you that some of the subrecipients, when we first for the 24-25 cycle, was, oh, well, we only sent the application for 1 year, not for 2
Right.
years, because it wasn't clear to them at the time and so forth. So, I mean, so those are some of the reasons also. So
Well, and sometimes there's unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, things do happen, but okay, thank you.
All
so,
right.
okay,
Do we have any other questions pertaining to what's going on? So just to backtrack, so you guys will receive an email from June. In that email, we'll receive your new operating and non-operating budgets. Within that is also going to be a spreadsheet attached. That's the only spreadsheet we want you guys to open. We don't want you to use a past form, a past one that you used previously. Once you're finished reducing your numbers within that section C, correct?
yeah, column C.
You'll save it with your initials behind it, and then you will go back and drop it into the portal into your funding application. Once you submit that, we will approve it. I will execute an agreement to you. Within that agreement, there will be the new amounts, and attached will be a copy of that budget template. It will only show numbers for 26. There will be nothing in any of the 27 slots, because that will become a supplement later on once we get through the fiscal 25 invoices. There will be 2 attachments with that agreement going out to you. There will be a resolution template, and then there will be the conflict of interest form that needs to be returned with your agreement. If you have any questions pertaining to any of that, please let June or I know. The folks that are going to be on the email that we send out with your agreements, please make sure you respond to all, because one of our agreement staff, it will be out of the office, so there needs to be at least 3 of us on that email so we don't lose track of them. So that's where we are. We will, the deadline for, I said, the fiscal 25 invoices is August 15th. For those of you that are behind, we'll put you on an expedited schedule to try and get everybody caught up, because we need those numbers, not just for funding purposes, but we have to report. So August 15th, we need all invoices uploaded and into our portal, no later than that date. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can let us know. Otherwise, for those of you that are behind, you can expect to hear from June or I, just to get you in contact with your reviewer, so that we will put you on a new schedule so that we can get things turned around a little quicker.
Okay, you guys said we had to have it done by Friday? You need it returned by Friday, June?
The budget, yeah, the reduction. So I will be starting to send them out this afternoon, and the rest of them tomorrow. So.
Okay, I'm gonna have to shut something down then, because I've got a busy next couple of days. So, all right, I'll figure it out.
And Lois, if that becomes an issue, just talk to June.
Yeah.
I'm booked up with passengers for the next 3 days, so I could just shut down one afternoon, I guess. But I hate doing that because they depend on me. But
nope. We'll talk to you after this.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you offline, Lois. Okay.
So this is Steve in Norfolk. So just so I understand, so that sheet, the spreadsheet you're sending out, there's going to be the budget spreadsheet, the line items, and you've got columns, and you're showing by line what you want a dollar value that needs to be reduced. But in the end, you're just looking for a net reduction on the budget. So if you're telling me whatever office rent needs to be reduced by 100,000, you don't care whether I reduce office rent by 100,000 or find that 100,000 somewhere else. You're looking for a net reduction in budget.
Yes. Correct. So you will reduce your line items to come down to that net total that is on your spreadsheet. Correct. Okay. So whatever line item you want to reduce it from, that's up to you.
Okay, perfect. That's what I needed to hear there. Say just another thing, since we're all on here today. I received an email from our congressman, which would be Congressman Mike Flood, indicating that he would like information back to his office by Monday, May 26th, comments from my office and or the city of Norfolk relative to the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Act. And so Jody, Sarah, if there is something you would like me as a city agency to message back to our congressman in terms of funding for rural transit, send me an email. I'd be glad to help message something up to the congressman.
Okay.
So one more thing I want to mention, several people have asked me about the state fiscal year end coming up the end of June. So we just got the dates. So the schedule is, so June, we can enter in things into our payment system. The last day of is June 20th. That then will get paid. Then the 3 bids go downtown and that'll get paid within 3 to 5 business days. Anything entered in the week of the 23rd, so through from June 23rd through July 1st, then, so that's 5, 6, 7 business days. Anything that we can enter in, but it will not get paid and go downtown until July 2nd. So then it'll be the 3 to 5 business days after that before you'll see payment. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that's coming up. And if you have any issues with where your invoices are at the time, between now and the first part of June, let us know if we need to do something specific for you as an individual subrecipient. So.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this section? And I did record all of that, so I will push it out so that if you guys need a reference back to any of the instructions that June went through, you'll have it.
And I will work with you individually if you're not understanding what's going on when I send it to you. So.
Okay.
This is
Next.
Nikki I have a question, Sarah.
Yep.
Nikki with Cedar County Transit, just because I know when I got to talk to my commissioner about this, he's going to ask me a couple of questions. Do we have an idea of what was requested in budget for like the last fiscal year? I know you said that, it's not closed yet, but like what did people want for 24, 25? How much higher was that than what we were requesting for 26?
It was, we have the agreement amounts and we have the supplement amounts. But as far as a detailed budget, we don't have that for 26, for 24, 25.
I didn't know, like, if you knew the total of what was asked for, like you're saying for 18 people or for 2026 people are asking for 18.6. What was requested in 2025? Just the requested total. So I like have a correlation of where to put this.
Well, I can tell you that it just the federal dollar amount in 2 years from 24-25 went up over $10 million from 24-25 to 26-27. So 5 million a year. So that's and when we only get 11.6, that's quite a bit. So
yeah. Okay. They just are going to want some justification on what I'm cutting and why. And I know they're going to ask me some of these questions if I ask them. So.
Yep. And if you have questions that come up after, don't hesitate to let us know.
yeah.
Okay, training. So I had Rio and Caitlin send out a survey to you guys. I didn't get to attend the legislative day, so just as a recap, so there was some trainings that were brought up. So we sent a survey out based off what we received back. It looks like there's a few trainings that we don't offer that were requested. We're looking into those. There will be an adjustment to the scope for UNK. So we went through what was scoped out that we're currently under contract with, and then what we want to look at for going forward. The on-demand was not used as much as we had anticipated being used. So our plan right now is to remove that from the contract for this next round. And then what we would do is we're looking at working in 2 weekend options for driver training. So one would be held on the west side of the state, one would be held on the east side of the state in addition to regular trainings. There was quite a bit of requests for a weekend option. So we're looking at how that schedule would come into play. We will send it out before just to make sure that, especially those that have been really requesting that weekend, see if we can kind of target maybe a month or something like that, that would maybe aid you guys in getting some of your drivers there. Because I know a lot of you said that one of the biggest obstacles is your part-time drivers. It's extremely difficult to get them to driver training during the day or during the week. So we're looking at that. And then there might be a few other tweaks. But the other thing I wanted to point out is RTAP provides free training. You guys can access it from the website. There is a couple of management trainings that were requested as well. I will get a hold of RTAP and see if we can't get one of their trainers to come here, because I know that was another request, was to have somebody physically present. So I'll see what RTAP can provide us from that perspective. But there will be a few adjustments. You will see something come out from on the listserv once we finalize that scope as to what will be included in the scope for UNK. But we did need to reduce a few things just because we're all playing the funding game right now. So those are the big changes that you're going to see. The other part of it, next one is the SMR. So thank you for your patience last week. I know I still have a few phone calls to return. We met with those folks that are going to review us in July as part of our state management review by FTA. It was a really good class. We were with them for 3 days. We went through a lot of things. There will be a few changes that need to be made to maybe a few websites and things like that that were identified that I wasn't aware of. So we'll let you know those. They let us know those in advance. So we'll get a hold of those folks that need to make just a few adjustments. But there will be upcoming site visits. So as part of our state management review, they will come on site and review our subrecipients. So there will be 2 5310s and there will be 2 5311s. One of you will be on site, one of you will be virtual. I did get those assignments, so I will reach out to those subrecipients that will be reviewed by FTA, and we'll touch base with you on what we anticipate them going through so that we can make sure you guys are comfortable. I will be on site for the on-site visits. Jody will be on the virtual visits. So, because they have them staggered, so during the on-site one, the virtual one's going on at the same time. So we're going to divide and conquer those. That takes place in July. So the site visits will be on July 21st. So July 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, you will probably not hear from many of us in this section just because we'll be with FTA at that time. So just a heads up there. So if you're wondering why I'm scheduling an on-site review, you are one of the lucky ones. So just anticipate that. Vehicles and equipment. So it looks so as subrecipients, you're supposed to keep an inventory list of any federally funded equipment that costs over $5,000. We have the vehicle information. We do have a list of some of the equipment that was purchased over the years. We will be sending out an Excel spreadsheet for each of you. We just need you to confirm that those are the assets you still have in your possession. If you do not, that's fine. Just let us know. That email will be coming from one of my new staff members. We're hoping to get that out this week, but it might be next week by the time you see it. That will eventually be entered into the portal. So we won't be using spreadsheets anymore. We'll move to the portal. He's building it in, so it'll be on your right below your vehicles tab. It'll be equipment tab. So anytime that you purchase, like let's say radios or monitors, and let's say the cost is $5,000, you'll enter it on the inventory sheet. It's just so that we have record of it. That's what FTA is going to be looking for. So like I said, next week is probably more likely for you to see that come through. The other thing that you're going to see us this fall for is we are due to update our TAM plan, our Transportation Asset Management Plan. In order to do that, we need to do a condition assessment. We found out last week that condition assessment is supposed to be happening biannually, which is where the state comes out, reviews comes out to look at your vehicle, mark off what the condition of the vehicle is, and make sure that it's on the portal correctly. So That did not happen last year, so it's gonna happen this fall. George and Cohen will be out. I think we're gonna start in September. We'll start scheduling on-site reviews. We're gonna make it as painless as possible. It's just a matter of, we just need to see it. So if you guys have vehicles out in the field, sort of during a certain time, we'll adjust wherever we need to adjust to get those assessments done. So just know that that's coming out as well. So they will be reaching out to you probably the beginning of August, just kind of once we kind of get a timeline together as to when they're going to plan on traveling. Non-ADA contracts, they are approved. So we have a Ford Transit and we have a Toyota Sienna under contract that we can purchase off of. I asked everybody if you guys were planning on purchasing any non-ADAs to let me know. I got quite a few requests. Once we get closer to 26, which is May, I know it's close, but I'm going to buy as much time as I can. Me and June are going to hopefully have numbers in July as to what we will be able to order based off the federal funding available for vehicles. We have to have a different grant set up for non-ADAs. And so given the staffing situation at FTA, it's all going to be dependent on how fast they turn around that grant at our Region 7 office. So not saying we won't order them, it's just saying there might be a slight delay. Just as long as we have the grant approved, then we can move forward. So we will get you that number as to what we're going to be able to order in July, hopefully by the end of July, and then we'll move forward from there. We did get a request of, I believe, over 160 vehicles for fiscal 26. So we obviously will not be able to order all of those. So it's going to come down to looking at their useful life. What is their mileage at? How old are they? And then if there is, sorry, words are really hard today. If there is expansion going on, is it because you're covering a territory that lost service? Those types of things we're going to be taking into consideration for the TAM plan before we can just replace them. So just keep that in mind. If you submitted an application in 25 and 24, I am working on those. I've touched base with you on those ones. I believe the agreements have already been put out for those. So if not, you'll probably be hearing from me this week because we're trying to get them out this week. So let's see here.
Sarah, I had a question for you about the non-ADAs.
Yes.
Are you given like priority to ones that are like hail damaged and that kind of stuff?
The ones that need to be replaced?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
I got to look at what the TAM plan is because we need to be following the TAM plan formula. But yeah, if they are damaged and they need to be replaced, that's
okay.
Gonna probably
and you want those indicated on the list, correct? I sent you.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
The other part of that non-ADA, sorry, I'm trying to read my notes, is when you submit an application for any of the non-ADAs, there's that description on your application. You have to make sure that you can put in there how many ADA vehicles you have so that you can still provide equivalent service. So if you're getting a non-ADA vehicle, the FTA is going to be looking at, are you still able to provide adequate service if you purchase a non-ADA? So basically you just need to put in there how many ADA vehicles you have. So if the request arises, you're still going to be able to provide that ADA service.
Sarah,
Yes.
where can we go to find the specs on these two particular vehicles?
There should be, I believe they are now posted, or they should be posted very shortly on the DAS website. I can drop the link in or in the chat.
That'd be perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'll do it quick so I don't forget. All right. There you go. And it doesn't look like they're uploaded yet, which they should be because it should be pretty soon because they are approved. So if you don't see them in the next 2 weeks, let me know. I'll call DAS and see what's going on. But we did get approval on those. Website. So we had mentioned some time ago, but we are getting very close to the transition. That will be fully transitioned and live ready to go by our contract ends with UNO in June. So by July 1st, it will be live. We're hoping mid to late July or mid to late June that it's up and going. So once that's up, the Nebraska Transit website will no longer be active. That will go away. So you'll be accessing the portal on there. I will shoot an email out on how to navigate that. But it's basically going to be on our NDOT website. It'll be on the homepage. There will be a transit tab at the top. You'll click that. It'll take you to the transit website. The same information will be on there. It might just be it's going to be laid out a little differently. What we did was we took a look at what were the documents that had been accessed on the regular and which documents haven't been accessed in over a year. There was quite a few documents that actually haven't been accessed in over 4 years. So those were outdated anyway. So those were removed. And then the ones that were transferred were either the documents you guys are accessing daily or the ones that we need to have on there for FTA. If there's something that you're not seeing that you need, just send us an email and we'll pull it for you. But I would imagine, I think our goal was June 15th. So I'm hoping by then it's up and live, but it has to be live before July 1st. And then the last thing on our agenda is we've replaced Wayne's position. So Cohen Herrick is now in our staff, on my staff. We're very excited to have him. So he will be leading the procurement and asset management unit. So anything that is vehicle or facility related, TAM plan related, anything like that, please send it to him. He is training, so please make sure that you would include me and George on any correspondence going to him as we start training him and working him into the workflow. But we are excited to have him. He is online, so we've already started sending him up to the hill with George for inspections so we can get these vehicles off the lot as soon as possible. So we're excited. But that's all we have for you guys. Like I said, I wanted to leave enough time so that if we had any questions, we had enough time to answer them, because I know ours are usually, we're filling every second that we have. Is there any questions that we didn't cover or questions that from what we have covered that you all have?
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said UNO's contract ends in June?
For the website.
Just for the website?
Yes, so the portal will still be up. They will be doing our intercity bus study, but yes, the website portion of their contract ends on June 30th.
So is Tara still with UNO? Do you know?
Yes, she's still with UNO, but she's any of the graphic services and things like that, those were cut in 24. So if you have anything you need there, she won't be able to assist because it wasn't in her scope anymore.
Okay, so if I need something in Spanish, a brochure in Spanish, who do I get a hold of?
I know we have a list of that the DOT uses of translators. I can give you that contact list.
That'd be great.
Okay. Yep, I can give you that.
Okay.
Sarah, can you send that out to everyone so we have it?
Yep.
Do you see anything in the state budget that would affect the transit department? As far as the Medicaid cuts that they're talking?
I have not heard anything on that. And Jody, have you heard anything on that? I haven't seen anything. I think she had to jump off. No, she's still there. No, I have not heard anything on the DHHS side of things. If I do, I can let you guys know, but I haven't seen anything come across.
Sarah, I thought I read in an email somewhere that there was going to be cuts like I think you listed about 5 things like marketing, travel, there was like 5 things that there was gonna be cuts to, like for this next year. Could you expound on those a little bit?
No, there was an email that came after that. So that was our attempt to try and reduce the budget enough, but by pulling out of those, even by reducing those tabs, it didn't even scratch the surface. So that's where we did the 30% reduction. And then we're gonna let you guys determine where in your budget you adjust.
Okay.
I got a question on, we get reimbursed for mileage when we go to training. Could that be something, because when COVID hit, we did all the training online and stuff, to save on mileage? Would that be a possibility or no? I mean, I was thinking of different ways to cut here, and that was one of them. And then like my out of town trips, if I actually don't have medical appointments, I just have people going shopping in one town, we're not going to go to that town. We're going to try and to save on gas mileage, our fuel, basically. So
no, you shouldn't have to do that. Are you talking like for your riders, or are you talking for your staff?
for the training, the staff, we get paid mileage to go to the training in Lincoln or Beatrice, and that adds up. I know it goes under RTAP, but still that's an expense.
The RTAP is a completely different budget. So that comes out of a different grant. So that's separate from your 5311.
Okay.
And that one's, we're on track with that one. So that, I would say that you shouldn't have to worry about.
Okay, what about, like, we went to training, was it last week? We went to Humboldt for the iPad training. It wasn't your training, but it was training for something else. So would that go under the RTAP, or would that go under the regular invoice?
What was the training for?
Training was for the iPad, or for the tablets, I'm sorry. The
For your
software.
software. I believe that was included in your software agreement. So that was a part of the price tag.
Okay.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, you're going to give us a number that we have to find someplace in our budget to cut down.
Correct.
Got it.
Sarah, so the safety center budget, does that come out of RTAP, or is that part of your 5311 money?
That was 5311.
Because I've offered, and they haven't taken me up on it, when we do some smaller group trainings, instead of renting a meeting room at the Hampton or a local hotel, I don't know what other agencies have, but we have 3 or 4 different training rooms here within the county that they can use for free. If that would help them cut some of their budget, so we can reallocate some of those funds to the actual transit agencies themselves. It's just a thought to save probably a small amount, but it is an amount.
Yeah, I'll talk to them. They're on, so we have a meeting coming up, so we'll talk to them about that.
There's a lot of online training that I think we could be utilizing. Well, we do utilize it with Open Plains in addition to the other trainings.
Joyce, did you have a question? I thought I saw yours raise up, but.
Oh, I just had a question about what Linda sent me earlier, but I can email you after this.
Okay.
Question, I just got on a little bit ago because I was driving. It says that the meeting's being recorded. How can we access this recording?
As soon as we log off here, I'll send it to be put on YouTube. I'll send you the link. I'll just send that out with the list of translators.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yep. Any other questions? And like I said, if you guys come up with questions after, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Me, June, or Carly can help answer those questions regarding any of the funding stuff.
Sarah, is the only staffing changes that's the new one that's coming on board your team?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
So Nikki with Cedar County, I do have one more training kind of question. I know recently there's been a lot of audits in our nursing homes and they're trying to verify that all of our staff are first aid and CPR certified. But there's kind of limited training options with the safety center for that. That one's not offered a ton. I think they do lots of other things. So, but if I do that outside through a different agency, then it doesn't count as hours, right?
Should.
I thought that all of our training only had to go through the safety center in order to count for like driver's hours.
That's what we were told years ago.
Driver's hours. I thought
That's
you meant
what-
just
yeah.
have it. I'll look at it. If they,
'Cause of
so
course,
which
you know,
ones,
when you-
which ones are they not providing the safety center?
Well, the CPR and first aid class are just kind of limited. They're only, I don't know, they're only on there a couple times a year. So then you hire a new driver and you can't wait 6 months to get them CPR certified. Like I have a local school nurse that does it for a very minimal charge. And there's sometimes you can jump on with the actual nursing home and they'll train your drivers for you, or the fire department, EMTs. I've done it with them and it's like $20-$25. It's not a very expensive thing to do, but then you're within your guidelines of your contract for those other agencies that you're providing service for.
Yeah,
A
and our
lot of times
detention
the
center
local
can
Red
do it as well.
Cross.
My question is, for FTA or NDOT, is there any requirement if they do the CPR training? Is there a requirement to go ahead and get the card? Because we can get it without the card for free, but if we need the card, then there's a fee.
That's what I'm gonna find out.
Kurt, don't you have to have, like, I have to show proof. Like, I have to email proof in for my drivers over to my nursing homes. How do you have proof then if you don't have a card?
Nobody has asked us since I've been here.
It's not an
This
FTA
year I got
requirement.
asked by all of our local nursing homes. It must have been a new audit thing they were doing.
We haven't been asked either.
Kurt, I don't believe it's an FTA requirement. It's probably a requirement through nursing homes or Health and Human Services.
HHS hasn't pushed that for us really either, but if we could get some clarification, that'd be great.
Yep.
Sarah, I wanted to also mention on that Safe Kids class that we need to transport children to make sure that's on the list that Safety Center can do. That's one of the requirements from HHS for us.
Now that one, when we talked to DHHS, they said that the Safe Kids class was only for transport of daycare children.
Okay.
Yes, and that is what we do.
How are you transporting them? Like, are you, I guess.
In a bus.
Well, no, I mean,
we have our contract with YMCA that we transport
Yeah, they
children
want
every
a
day.
bond. It's like insurance, I think, is what it is.
Okay, let me look at that.
Liability insurance.
Okay. Anything else you want me to look into?
Sarah, if the training has gone through an accredited training resource, isn't that good enough? I mean, something that's been like established, whether it's through NTI, RTAP, Red Cross, your local fire department. Because I will be honest with you, the vicious rumor just even a few months back or within the last 6 months is that it had to go through the safety center. Because I heard that as well. And that came from my staff after training. And I heard it from other transit managers as well. So I don't know for sure where it's coming from, but I had never heard that before. So
I will get clarification on the training.
Yeah, that would be super. We just have some really great resources as well as UNK. You know, it's just a nice mix. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I will, like I said, I will send this over. We'll get a link for this. It'll probably come through tomorrow. And I will request the list of translators so that I can send all that out to you. I will get clarification on this, but it probably won't be as quick as when I send out the link to the meeting. Because I want to get that out so you guys can get your budgets revised. If any questions come up regarding the budgets, please don't hesitate to reach out to June or Carly. I'm not going to be in the office for Thursday and Friday. So if it's on Thursday and Friday, you need assistance, please make sure to reach out to one of those two so it doesn't get held up. Otherwise, I will touch base with those that got selected for FTA reviews, and then we'll just go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.